Hello, listeners. I'm presenting here one very frequently used Russian proverb. Russian culture is a rich old culture that dates to the 10th century, Anno Domini, and earlier centuries of Kievskaya Rus, Kievan Rus, we say, and the psychological, cultural layer of Russian culture is very important. One cannot just say Russians are this or Russians are that without knowing what we actually consist of. What we consist of goes from ancient times. We have world-known classical writers and world-known Russian ballet or Russian composers or Russian scientists. For example, the table of chemical elements is authored by the Russian scientist Dmitry Mendeleev. So all of it is interconnected. We cannot just throw words around without understanding the depth of the culture where the person comes from. A cultural nation is not capable of bad deeds. Think about it. Not all Germans are proud of the known dictator whose name I will not pronounce here because it would be very inappropriate. Russian proverbs and sayings is a very interesting topic for which I unfortunately have not had time to collect more about it and to create a book of the popular Russian proverbs. There are some books that I came across. Some of them are made not by Russian linguists, and they may have very strange proverbs lists which we never use, and they are missing on the ones which we use every day, every week, depending on the situation. So what is this proverb? Бог терпел и нам велел. Бог терпел и нам велел. The God had suffered, had tolerated, and he taught us to do the same. To be patient, to be tolerant maybe. The direct translation is he was tolerating, was being very patient. Please notice, it is the verb here. The verb here, терпел. It means that it is not just an adjective, patient. For example, I'm a professional educator, a teacher, and I'm very patient in my classes. However, here in this proverb, to tolerate is the verb. It is deeper than just an adjective patient. It is actively deeper. It is activity to be tolerant, to be patient. Now, let's not jump to the modern versions of tolerant meanings. We are not in the modern politics here. We are in the Russian old proverbs topic. He was patient and he ordered, he prescribed, he urged us to be the same way. Он велел. Он терпел и нам велел. Бог терпел и нам велел. Also, please hear how I pronounce Бог, God. Even it is spelled with G, and in other noun cases, I mean in the cases, nominative, genitive, accusative, dative. In other cases, we will hear G sound. Нет Бога, Богу, genitive, Бога, Богу, dative. We will hear G sound. However, here we have just nominative case, Бог. What you see in the vocabulary, nominative case, Бог. And you don't pronounce it Bog because it will be too much accent to it. Okay, so we pronounce Бог. Велеть is a beautiful Russian verb that means, велеть is an infinitive, beautiful Russian verb that means to order as from the higher power or authority. It is a historical and old verb, велеть, and it is not used much in the modern conversational speech. However, we can say, Мама тебе велела, your mother urged you. So I guess we do occasionally still use this beautiful old verb, велеть. Grammatically, we see here Russian past tense that is extremely easy and easy to detect when you know Russian alphabet to read. Please look that in both verbs here, терпел и велел, there is the last consonant ending O. And this is the mark of past tense. All Russian past tense verbs will have suffix L closer to the end, or the last consonant L, like here. If it is a third person masculine, like here, referring to a man, we do not have other letters after the consonant L. Он терпел, он велел. He tolerated, he ordered. So you see, you are in the past tense here right away. But if there were feminine ending, for example, I'm a woman, sorry, so I never can say about my actions without adding the feminine vowel ending. Я терпела, я велела. I was tolerating, I was ordering, because I'm a woman. Or the third person, female, она терпела, она велела. Or the second, ты велела, if I refer to ты. Second person, singular, also woman will be the same. Ты терпела, ты велела. So Russian past is really easy. If we need plural, third person, or first or the second person, all of them will be the same. They will have ending «и». Они терпели, они велели, мы терпели или вы терпели. So it is very logical because «и» is also a plural ending of many Russian nouns: книги, карандаши, тетради, books, pencils, notebooks. So back to verbs of plural past. We plural or they plural, we. Мы терпели, they, они терпели, они велели. So now you know a very popular Russian proverb which we often use. Also, it shows our religious belongingness. We can be religious by life or not religious by our views, but we will use the proverbs and sayings that came to us through the centuries and were told to us by our parents and grandparents. Also, I'm glad that I have been able to mention here that I have never come across a good book of Russian proverbs. I have seen a few and all of them were missing something. I'm sure they should exist, but please go to the Russian philological sources for that, to avoid confusion or superficiousness or lack of everyday usage knowledge. To know the latter, the everyday usage knowledge, one has to live inside, within Russian culture for a few years to hear it and to understand it and to use it. I appreciate your attention and I'm happy I have shared this proverb with you. By the way, I have just had a situation where I wanted to ease up some circumstance of mine, but the price was too high for that. So I went back to my old, a bit difficult way situation, saying this proverb to myself: Бог терпел и нам велел. And he was saying to us, нам is dative кому, dative personal pronoun нам, to us, нам. It is because sometimes we really need to analyze things and rather be patient than to take hasty decisions. To Russian people, the rich cultural heritage of our proverbs and sayings, their wisdom and deep meaning really helps sometimes in our everyday life. It helps us to make decisions. Thank you. I hope it was useful to you. Бог терпел и нам велел.